Okay, so web requests. When you make a request to a web page, it uses a protocol you've probably seen, the abbreviation HTTP. That's called the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it's the protocol the web is built on. So, like when you make a request to StuartPB.com, let's say you want to see the site, the page that tells you how long my hair is. That's at, and this is the actual URL because I'm not doing examples out of my just offhand anymore because I'm no good at it. HTTPS S just means it's secured. StuartPB.com/info. So if you type that into your browser, it looks up StuartPB.com via the domain name system, and it finds the address, I wrote it down this time, is 104.236.178.203. So it makes it sends a makes a connection using the IP, and it sends a packet to the to this IP address that looks like this: HTTP //1.1, because this is the first version of the protocol, like the first revision to the first version is 1.1, and for the last 20 years this has been the only protocol, basically the only real standard. There's a new one called HTTP2 that's based on some proprietary stuff Google did. Then they made it like an actual standard, but it's not really widespread yet. So HTTP, and it basically just does this, but it doesn't actually. This is actually sent as text, or with HTTPS it's sent as encrypted text, but the security layer is complicated. So it sends a packet that starts at HTTP 1.1, then GET, and then /info, because all the assets it gets, it already knows it got the address for StuartPB.com. Then everything to the right of the slash, including the slash, is the thing that it's going to get. Now, initially this is all you did with an HTTP request, but they changed when they did the 1.1 standard. I think actually when they did 1.0, they decided the thing about this is that a server can go by more than one name. I actually have a few different things that I host on my server at this address. So it needs to know if you're asking for StuartPB.com info, or if you're asking for Dingroll info, or Clipsnail, or one of the other projects that I do. So underneath, after this initial line where it requests the URL, the address, the path, it has headers, and the only header that is mandatory is host, and host is StuartPB.com. And then it also is going to include some other stuff like user agent, and that's going to include a bunch of stuff. So you've probably heard of Mozilla Firefox. The user agent for pretty much any browser you use today is going to start Mozilla, even the ones that aren't made by Mozilla. Microsoft Internet Explorer actually started this. Chrome will start with this. Firefox, of course, will. Opera didn't used to. Once they started using the same code as Chrome, they started doing this exact same thing. And then /5.0, because Mozilla was the user agent Netscape used. And then when Netscape added a bunch of new features to the web, so Internet Explorer wanted to be compatible, so they used Netscape's user agent, and then they put at the end compatible, and then they wrote MSIE. So let's say that we're visiting this in Internet Explorer. And then there's like a whole bunch of the user agent strings these days are like out to. I'm way off camera now, but they are very long now because they include like what rendering engine, what operating system. They include a lot of stuff. To the point where you can kind of tell each visitor based on the different little nuances of their user agent string, more or less, and it's kind of a problem. And 5.0 this is what happened when everybody basically decided to start being all Web 2.0 and HTML5 and stuff. 4.0 was Netscape Navigator's user agent, and for years everything started with Mozilla 4.0. Then everybody decided to say Mozilla 5.0, just as a little joke, because Mozilla 5.0 isn't a real thing. Then the server will reply back, because like I said, every IP packet has the IP to respond with. It'll reply back with, I think it'll also say HTTP. I don't think it says what version because you already said the version when you made the request. HTTP 200. Okay. So, and then underneath will be the code that makes the site the HTML. So it starts with doc type HTML, and then there's like HTML, and then there's like a head and title and all that stuff. But HTML, it totally deserves at least one video, probably several. But and it also has it can also have headers. I think content length is going to be one of these headers. It's going to just tell it how much content to expect, so the computer can like get ready for a big page or a small page or whatever. This status code, HTTP has a number of codes defined based on if something happens. So like 200 is the usual okay, it worked okay status code. If it's status code like 302, I think the name doesn't actually matter. It's sort of like a hint for if you're inspecting it. But like 302 is going to be like found, and there will be a location header. There's a blank space between the headers and the body. So like if it was going to tell you you are being redirected, it would put all that HTML after a blank line. But so, and then it would say like location / like if I moved info to like hair length, I would say location hair length. But the most common case where you've probably seen an HTTP status code is, so 302 means that it's found and it's somewhere else. But if you asked for infob, which is not an actual URL on my site, not an actual page, you get an HTTP 404. All of the 404, all of the 400 status codes mean that you've done something wrong. So 404 not found, and then it'll have all of its other headers, and then it'll probably have like a fun little not found, servers reading stuff page as its body. Or like if something goes wrong with the server, it'll return with like a 500 internal server error status, and probably like a page describing the error. So that's how HTTP works at its core. I might record another video explaining how like forms work.